so in front of the trailer, you got a jack light here that doesn't show a lot, but you do have a light. You have up and down to get your hitching proper and leveling. Gas bottles are full and ready to go. So when you turn your bottles on, I like to have them both turned on at the same time, okay? This right here is an indicator. It's pointing this way. We were running off of this tank, okay? Tank runs empty, we can switch over and it will run off of this tank. You can go get this one filled, but do not turn this into a convenience store because this is still under warranty. So if there was a problem, you aren't going to get warranty is not going to cover it because it's not the same tank. Easy way to tell how full your tanks are, dump some warm water over the tank and it's going to show you a frost line. Normally you would have a 12-volt deep cycle battery here. That battery is going to run everything in the coach except for your air conditioner, microwave, and 110 outlets, all right? Wintertime, you want to take that out and put it someplace warm, otherwise it's going to freeze and crack on you, and you're going to be out about $200. So put a charge on it and you're good for the winter. Here we have a battery disconnect, okay? That's going to disconnect the power from the battery to the coach. This right here, you have tire sensors, okay? This particular model, I believe, sends tire monitor air pressure caps. So you can put those on and hook it up to your phone and go Bluetooth. Did forget about this little guy right here. This is your breakaway system, okay? If the truck and trailer ever came apart, it would pull a pin out, lock your brakes up so the trailer doesn't go down the highway and have an accident with you or somebody else. This does not hook onto the chains, it hooks onto the receiver. So. We'll come around this side of the trailer. All four corners have jacks. These are meant to be brought down and snugged up. They're not to be leveling the trailer. You're gonna level the trailer with your front jack, front to back, and then either pads or planks to side, okay? Inside here, you got a pass-through storage. There's your power cord, your griddle, that type of stuff. Behind that spare tire is gonna be your fresh water fill. That would be the top one. The bottom one is gonna be your city water connection, okay? No more than 60 pounds of water pressure going into these campers. They do make a water regulator that regulates your water at 45 to 50 pounds. I would recommend that highly. Yeah, the furnace, that's the vent for the furnace right there. That gets very hot, so we don't want to lean anything up against it, touch it, what have you, it will burn. Coming this way towards the rear of the camper, that there is your cable satellite hookup. And then coming back farther, this is where your power cord is going to plug into. Okay, that's a 30 amp service. The light is a motion light. So anytime somebody walks past that, that light is going to come on. So this way here, you do have capability of storing your sewer hose in the bumper, but if you have the 90-degree elbow on it, we're going to have to take that off and put that somewhere else. But you can fit two 10-footers in the bumper. Your sewer system, you got a black handle and a gray handle. The black one is a 3-inch valve. We're going to pull that one first, and that's going to dump your toilet, and then we're going to dump the gray, which is going to clean out your tube. If you are camping someplace that has sewer at the site, you can run your hose out, but make sure your valves are closed, because one of two things. If the black water, all the water is going to run out and everything else is going to stay in the tank. And another thing is you're going to end up taking sewer gas. And how these valves work is when you pull it, it's a suction that brings all the sewer out, or all the waste out. And then your low water point should be somewhere. Right here.
Oh, there we go.
So
the things we want to do for this job, Steve.
yeah.
Now, can you help me out?
I can't get up.
We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. So here you have the housing for your backup camera or security camera, however you want to do it. We do sell a couple different brands. This is a Lippert ladder. This does not come with the camper. It just comes with the mount, okay? The ladder is a collapsible ladder, comes down to about right here. Very handy to have, okay? Because I want you up on that roof at least twice a year, making sure your seals are all good and not cracked. So we want to, maintenance is a big thing.
You had some good advice on when you're actually up there, maybe not just walking on that roof.
It is what, you know, like I said, I like to go hands and knees, but is what I'm looking at is cracks in my sealant, cracks in my vents, that type of stuff. It's a maintenance problem, you know, and you need to clean your roof at least once a year, you know, so. This here is your on-demand water heater, okay. Here is the on-off switch for it. We want to leave that on and we can control the rest of it from inside. Convenience outlet on a ground fault so you can plug in and not get electrocuted, which is a bonus. Outside shower, hot and cold running water. This is where my wife makes me shower, but only at night. And then down here, we have the black water flush. So if you, inside your tank, you have little pins inside the tank, which would be empty, a third, 2/3, and full. And what will happen is a piece of paper will get hung up on there and it shows that you got 2/3 or a third in there, and it drives people crazy. So just use the proper chemical, proper toilet paper, and if that doesn't work, fill your tank up 20 pounds of ice and take her down the highway, and it should take care of that problem. Here's the griddle that we were talking about. This comes with a little table that just hooks in and out like that. Easier said than done. So, steps, these just fold up. Got a locking assembly. We can adjust the feet so we get a better angle. At some point in time, you're not going to be able to shut your door because our adjustments are wrong, so we're just going to have to adjust them out farther. And if you want to be the coolest kid in the campgrounds, you need to get yourself some step Crocs. So,
Got some just like it.
And then the other pass-through side. That light switch right there is going to, if you come around the front of the camper, we're going to turn this light switch on.
Oh, okay.
And it does have lights there too, so.
That thing opens, huh?
Yep, and we'll show you how that opens from the inside.
Okay.
Outside care, do not wash this with a pressure washer. You're gonna blow your decals right off. Like I said, up on the roof at least twice a year. Awning, easiest way to wash your awning is to scrub the top of it, get it all nice and soapy, good hot soapy water. Roll it back up because you're rolling both sides of it, so you're not standing underneath of it taking a mouthful of soap and messing your glasses up for the next week. So let it set 10-15 minutes, roll it back out, spray it off. If it's good, it's good. If not, do it again. So any questions on the outside of the camper? Oh, I forgot the 2 outside speakers up there too.
And with that, let's go inside.
All right. Here you have a window that will open. This is an emergency escape window too. These handles just pull up, and you can set this out like this, but you do have that, so you can get some air through here too. But to me, I don't know if I like that or not, but it is what it is. Then to close it, we just bring it back down. TV, that's 110, so that you're going to have 110 or short power to run this TV. Here you have a USB outlets there. We do have storage underneath here. Those straps are to strap your chairs together, so on travel they aren't flying all over. Here we have a pantry with an auto light in it. Bathroom again. Here we got all kinds of storage, that type of stuff. This panel is off just because I wanted to show you This is the bypass to your water heater. On these on-demand water heaters, the bypass is usually behind the water heater. Motion light down there, plastic, so no abrasives. Halfway on the foot feed, we get rinse water. All the way it flushes. The pink in there is the antifreeze. This is set for winter. Hot and cold running water, shower again. I like to have people take their shower head down, but this one is not going to be able to go down the way it's in that position. You got light switches for your another 110 outlet here. Refrigerator is going to be a 12-volt refrigerator again. Controls for the freezer are up here. Controls for your refrigerator are right here.
What is somebody having a
Usually
battery powered refrigerator need to know?
nothing really, because you're going to run, if you got a good battery, and usually I would run 2 batteries if I had this, okay? If you're plugged into 110, that's going to be charging through your converter, which is going to keep that battery charged, okay? If you have solar, that solar panel is going to be charging those batteries at all times. So, and going down the road off your vehicle, as you're going down the road, that's charging your battery too. Okay, so you shouldn't have any issues. But I still like to have 2 batteries on mine. Here we have a vacuum cleaner, and we'll have to find attachments for that. But so you can sweep your floor, bring it all right here, and that'll suck it all up.
And now we don't know where that ends up. Where does that end up?
That ends up into a bag behind here.
Ah,
If you
there it is.
open that up,
There you go.
Just leave that. 'Cause it could be a bit. And there again, this is your converter. Over here is all 110. These normal positions should be all up. We shouldn't have any red lights on, but we've disconnected some things so we can not have everything turn on. So, but that red light is an indicator that's telling you you've got a bad fuse. Okay, but I want you to count lights, then I want you to count fuses, because the lights and the fuses do not line up. So you might be pulling the wrong one. So count lights, then count fuses. This one is a metal sink, so you can use somewhat of an abrasive. Your sink here has, if you look at it this way, it has a sprayer. If we turn it down like this, you have just a regular flow.
Okay. Clever.
Yeah. Storage again. So this here's all your paperwork on your appliances. And when I was talking about the sensors for your tire, this comes with that. Okay, so these just hook onto your tires, and then you're going to go onto your phone, set your app, and then you'll be able to see what your tire pressure is at all times. Other than that, it's just, like I said, all paperwork. If you like reading schematics, it's a good book for you. Fan off, light. So burners, you have a night light here. You can turn that on. To light your burners, you're going to push in and hold until they light. We do not have any LP in here, so it's not going to light, but this is what you're going to do. Microwave is self-explanatory.
And right at your feet here,
Oh,
we've got.
That's our furnace. This is where our furnace, the heat is going to come out of. So, Bluetooth radio. So you're going to have to hook that up to Bluetooth. This will extend and retract your awning. You have awning lights outside below it. You have a porch light. and interior lights. Okay. Around this side, here is your solar controller. Basically, is all this does is it's going to show you the amperage that comes in and how many watts and that type of stuff you got going to your battery. The only thing that this really does, you can change to different batteries. So it could be a regular deep cycle, it could be a AG, it could be lithium. You just have to set it for what your battery is. We set it as the standard battery because that's what you get with our coaches. This here's our thermostat. How this works is we're going to take and turn it on. It's going to come up fan. Well, we have it disconnected for the showroom. A dry fan. Then you come up to cool, heat, and then if you want to shut it off, we just hold the button. These two arrows here are up and down as far as temperature. Okay. Down here, we have GFI outlet. This is your metering panel. So you hit that, we're going to find out what our gray water is. We're empty. We're going to hold this one here, which is our black water, and then fresh water, and then the bottom one, this one here is for your battery. It's charged, good, fair, or low, and we're on a full charge. Water pump, or water heater, excuse me. We have to turn that on. That will turn this on because we have the outside. So we have a temperature inside of 51 degrees. If we want to set our water temperature, it will never exceed 122. Oh, and this one does. So 124 on this one. We're going to want to be down in the 90s and high 90s. And you can set it to whatever you want, whatever you can handle. Okay. We're done camping for the weekend. We shut that off. We shut that one off, and we're good.
How important is it you shut the one outside off?
You don't need to. That way you don't have to mess around in there. Okay. And that's my experience. Then you have a water pump. The only time two times you're going to use your water pump. One is when you are winterizing. The other is if we're dry camping. So we would have filled our fresh water, which would be right out here. And we would turn this on and leave it on. So anytime that we pull or turn the faucet on, you would hear that pump run. Okay. Shut the pump or shut the faucet off. The pump is going to shut off. It's on demand. So blinds, these are just roll up blinds. I want to have you travel with them up because otherwise what's going to happen is they're going to sit here and bang. You spend a lot of money here, so you don't want to mess this up. They retract by themselves. Emergency escape window can be used as a regular window like that. If you ever had to get out, pull the red knob this way, windows on a hinge, and out you go. Okay. There's only one way out, and it's head first, and it'll probably leave a mark. So underneath the bed, we have storage. We have some hanging bar storage over here. This is what they call a Murphy bed. So we're just going to lift and lay that down. This one only has one latch that folds down, and the bed comes down. That front window can be opened by those latches, and then there is a screen that you can pull down so we can have that open and sleep with it open. So, and we won't get bugs.
Okay. If you put that up for me, I'll take a look at that latch again, where that latch was. I didn't quite catch that. It's okay, right up in the corner here. There we go.
Few safety features. Fire extinguisher. Over here we have the LP and carbon monoxide. And then above your head we do have the smoke detector. But all in all, folks, that's it. So, any questions?
We're good. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. So.